I started my own searches out here with these beautiful, beautiful, wonderful Hawkeye volunteers that could find things. And, passionate people. That's the reason why you look here. You're not just out here strolling and trying to make friends or things like that. People out here because they actually see that my son is missing and I need to find him, and they're actually looking on the ground. So when I see people find things like that, it's very encouraging too because that means they're actually looking. Because I would have walked right over it if you're not looking really hard. So that's why it's important to really be looking. So now I'm just looking around the area and see if I see anything else that we could have missed. Even with a line search, sometimes that's the reason why we go over it twice, grids too, and that's another reason why things take longer out here. I mean, like a possible bone. No, that's a rock. Um, but then again, no, that is bone. Hold on a second. Yeah, that's bones. You probably can see that. This one right there, two in clusters right there. Something's eating. Two are here. I'm trying to get the camera right, but then you got one over there. So something was under this tree eating that, and I can almost guarantee that mountain lion. But I have to, because of that proximity of that cell phone, I'm gonna have to mark this too. So hold on a second. And the beautiful part about this Gizla is this is on federal land. Right now we're on federal land. This is not Buckeye, Arizona land. Their jurisdiction. Is what I'm saying. This is on federal land. So if this phone turned out to be in relation to my son, um, definitely would be in my ballpark because I have so many different ways that would say the FBI should be in my son's case. That's another wheel. I think we have another wheel over here. Uh, I haven't seen this structure before, and it's a bit tired. We find all kinds of things out here. Of course, oh yeah, that's a wheel. Oh, they threw trash on it and they put a bit tire on top of it so somebody can't get in there. You see that? And look at that, it's deep. Oh, that's deep. That's very deep. But I doubt if they threw somebody in there. I hope not. But it's strange. But anyway, this is the kind of stuff you find out here. Wow, I didn't know this was here. So all this time he is out here, and this is the first time I've seen this. And this is I wish I could send the light down there, but I can. Woo! Yeah, it's really deep. It's a big echo. But they put this big tire on it. I doubt if we can move that. So I don't think we can move this little chunk right here, this hard part of it. Oh yeah, that's heavy. Um, Got to figure something out. And I think this is private land, so I think we're trying to get out of here fast because um, yeah, this is new territory. I haven't been here before, so when I look around, I didn't look up for a while, so now I'm looking up. I see that is not deep at all, so I can see the bottom of that. But oh man, there's another area I got to search because of that. I'm gonna come back there and try to put a pipe camera down in there and see what's at the bottom. If it's water down there, and go in the water. So you saw that? I never seen this before. I forgot what you call them. I don't know. But I brushed against one of those before. Wasn't paying attention. I was trying to, as a volunteer was riding with me in the Razor on the passenger side, and one of those was on the passenger coming. Was going through some brush, and I was trying to keep the brush from hitting them on the arm. As we passed by, and so I kind of pull over to the left a little bit, try to keep it avoid the, watching out for my volunteer. Make sure my volunteer was okay. Oh, not mine, but the volunteer is okay. I had to change my wording, but um, and I pull over two corners. I didn't realize one of those right there was on my side, and I just the razor just brushed it, and those needles in that thing. If you look at it, there's needles in the thing that's literally shot out of it, and it shot all on the side of my arms, all on my it was my arms on my side. I mean, it's everywhere, and it took me forever to get the thorns out of me. It's like pulling, like you need a pair of pliers almost to pull them out. You know, it was really painful. So the whole search, I didn't say anything to anybody, but I was in some pain. I was in pain. I was itching and pain at the same time. Like, oh my God! And it's and these right here is even worse. They're so throwing thorns at you too. So you got to be careful with those. I don't play around the end of that type stuff. So, but the one time we found that the remains over there by Sun Valley Parkway, and it still had the marrow on it, fresh. And it's like we sent it just like we do normally, and it came back and said it was animal bones. And I got really uptight about it because I got tired of keep saying it's animal bones.
Yeah.
So I demanded them to send it to the Maricopa. So we sent a copy to Maricopa. We sat out there for 3 hours though, but came back all human bones. Now imagine that we just walked off like we're doing now and left the person on the ground. Yeah, so they turned it to a crime scene. So that's what they do. They call all out everything we find animal bones, especially the ones we have people out here that know the difference between animal and human. I don't know now, so that's why I'm taking this picture. But you know, imagine we would have followed that. That's what I'm saying. That was somebody's family member, you know. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining in. I'm David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. I come to you again, giving everybody a Q&A session, and also to share my upcoming events. As you know, I will tell you right now that it's been a hard day coming to this day. My son has been officially missing for 8 months now to date. And, it's a very hard time for me and my family. Each month passed by, it gets a lot worse, really rough. But, we're hanging in there. We thank you all for your love and support. Thank you all for coming into the chat and also supporting this Q&A. I think I may have some technical difficulties here, but thank you so much again for everything. So I just want to first of all say thank you, Gwen, for coming in the chat. D Love, Amber, everybody who's just still joining in. Of course, like I said, I'm David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson, and for those who just starting with this following this cause, my son had went missing on June the 23rd, 2001. He was at his job site, something that he loved to do. He's a geologist. He graduated with honors. Came out here to Arizona, a place that geologists love the most. He was at that work site, and we were told that he, from a long story, waved off, got in his vehicle, and drove away. Where we haven't seen him since. And it's been difficult trying to find answers to that. I started my searches. I got here in June the 26th, 2021, in search of my son. I came because, first of all, I would have came anyway. However, I moved a little faster when I realized the local police department wasn't going out to search for my son. Got here, like I said, started searches. Searches was surrounded the area where my son was last seen. And, on July the 19th, his vehicle showed up just like this in this in the ravine right behind me. The picture there, it showed up like that in the desert, about 3.5 miles away from his job site. And, we still don't have answers to what happened. All we know that everything he was wearing on his body was 3 feet away from the ground, from the vehicle on the ground. And, his personal effects was inside, out of the vehicle, and some was in his clothing. And, like I said, it's almost like he just vanished. So I expanded my searches to cover not only just the well site and also cover the site where the vehicle was located. I since then hired a private investigator who found a lot of evidence, everything that kind of contradict the theory that the Buckeye Police Department have given me and my family at day one of that vehicle being found. And that theory was that my son somehow escaped injury, but at the same time, they suggest that he had a severe head injury, which made him strip his clothes off because it's hot. He probably walked off somewhere and hid under a tree to cool off and succumbed to his injuries, or something worse. Later, they described that maybe he just wanted to be away from his family and to go join a monastery to become a monk. So, being dissatisfied with that type of rhetoric from the police department, I decided to get my own private investigator, like I said, who found a lot of evidence. He found a sock only a few hundred feet away from the original well site where my son went missing. He also found that that vehicle here was wrecked multiple times in his estimate. Not only was it wrecked the first time and the airbags deployed, it was driven an additional 11 miles after that deployment. And, also he found some red transfer paint on the side of the vehicle that's laying on the ground. There's nothing red out there in the desert. There's nothing yellow. Where did that transfer paint come from? That will suggest that the accident didn't happen there. Also, of course, when my son first went missing, we was asking the local police department, Buckeye, to search for ping locations, to using the Uconnect in his vehicle, to finding pictures, videos of him traveling, things like that, his Google history. Um, According to that department, none of that was being able to get done. It's kind of, in my opinion, it was, kind of convenient that they couldn't get anything. Then they blamed it on warrants, but at the same time would say they tried to do those things. So, make a long story short, as a father, been out here since. I thank you guys for supporting me. I couldn't do this alone. I reached out to the community. The community reached back. I was able to get my searches on the ground. I was able to secure funds that needed through the GoFundMe. I also was able to get signatures, a lot of signatures from people like yourself who saw fit to sign the petition and to help my cause. Because I like to see change. First of all, my main concern goes to my son. And make sure that department is doing everything they can. That petition is to put pressure on that department, and also is for there's things bigger than me and my family. I talk to families all the time. I was fortunate to work really hard, and also got a lucky break with the tragedy of somebody else's family. I don't like to call that lucky, but it was because of the tragedy of another family that my son had got some national attention, and also from my hard work, from working 3 months hard trying to get some attention, that this case moved forward in the public sphere. So, it's been, like I said, a hard road, but we're making it. So, like I said, you guys has been supporting me from day one. So I got the petition. Like I said, the petition is also for to bring awareness, and I'll hope to make some type of dent in the future. I may not make a total change, but that's what I'm aiming for. There should be changes in the law where policing should automatically assume that this person is injured, in trouble, that type thing, and then work their way back, because that first 24 to 40 hours is crucial. And when these departments can sit back on their hands for those hours and tell you to wait when you know something's wrong with your loved one, that's a problem, because we know that after that 24 to 48 hours, the chances of recovery is getting slimmer and slimmer. I'm dealing with 8 months. Some people think it's impossible, but all things are possible with God. So, I still have my faith. I'm a man of faith, and I really believe that my son, I would find him alive. I'm gonna keep looking despite of everything I know and see, that would suggest otherwise. I'm still having that faith, and I want to believe that. So I want you guys to keep my family in your prayers, and keep in mind that what we're going through. So, like I said, this is a Q&A session, and I would like to get these questions from you guys. I'm having a little difficulties. My computer's freezing up here, and on my end, and I'm having a hard time getting these questions start strolling down. So bear with me. If you hear me doing more talking today than answering questions, that's because, like I said, the screen is freezing up here, I see, and I'm having a hard time going down the chat. So all right, let me go answer those one first question here. That's coming from Nikki Reyes. Can you sign a petition more than once? Yes. If you have multiple email addresses, yes, feel free to sign that petition many times. And so, you just have to have multiple email addresses. So yes, I encourage that. I need all the signatures I can. Every signature counts. So, just know that. And I really appreciate you guys for doing that. Also, I want to share with you all that I will be holding a candlelit visual that's coming up really soon. That should be reflecting on the websites hopefully today or really soon. I'm having a meeting with my staff, and we're going to put a timeline there and give everybody ample time to prepare yourself. And I really hope you guys come out. I know some of you coming out from a lot of different states. cities and things like that. And if you can, I really appreciate that. We need a big presence. I'm reaching out to my media connects, reaching out to everyone I can, and we want this to be a powerful statement. Like I said, it's been 8 months for my son, been missing, and I want to make a powerful presence. And so you guys can show up, come out. I really appreciate that. Also, I did last week. I didn't have a search, and you all know the reasons why. I had to conserve some of the resources. I'm doing this whole investigation on my own. I have a private investigator, but I'm doing this investigation myself also. And saying I need the funding to do the forensics work, and that's have to come from me. So that forensic work hadn't been done. This picture right here come from the Buckeye Police Department. And do you see any markers there? No. You see anything that even suggests that some type of forensic work was done? It wasn't. I had a meeting with them guys, and they told me recorded, and also with a witness. They didn't do forensic work at the scene. And the reason why, because there was no blood found in the vehicle, is what I was told. And they since then did fingerprinting because I requested it days after in that meeting. I demanded the fingerprinting, and they did the fingerprinting. However, I still have yet to know what was found. So, I had to do all the stuff myself. I had to get his clothes, DNA testing on his clothing, on his cell phone, on his computer, his personal computers at home. Had to do that whole vehicle. This vehicle right here had to be scrubbed. Everything, and re-fingerprinted, whatever the case may be. Get DNA, get the fibers off the carpet, everything, to show if anybody else been in that vehicle. So, I want you guys to know that I'm doing everything I can as a father to make sure that my son get his justice that he deserves, and due process and everything else that's supposed to come along. These guys work for us. The police department. I'm not afraid to ask questions. I'm not afraid to demand anything. They work for us. They get paid from tax dollar money. As you know, I've been here over 6 months. I have an Arizona ID now, and I'm an Arizona citizen. So, I just want to say, hey, they're using tax money, and I demand them to do their job. So, I thank you again for coming in here. I see you new is here. Thank you, new, for working the chat for me. D Love, Shrink and Sharon. I see you, Dual. I thank you for coming out. And I think, let's see here. Like I say, my computer's freezing up every time I try to hit that button to go on the chat. So you guys bear with me. It's moving really slow this morning. I don't know what's going on with my computer. It's one at all strange, and I guess up to the point when I decided to use it. So like I said, that's some of the things that's coming up right now. Also, like I said, that the searches I am going to have a search this weekend. And this search is going to be, you may notice the name had changed, special operational search. And that search is reason I changed the name because, first we had to revamp to save money, streamline the searches. And, it's going to be accordingly. We will try to get everything more aligned searches for now. Everybody want to come out with UTVs, ATV, we can utilize you also to get you in certain areas that definitely need to be searched out there in the desert, because some areas it's very hard to get to by foot. You have to have those type of vehicles to get there. And we're still logistically trying to figure out how we can get line searches in those areas. But for now, we're relying on people like yourself who have those specialized vehicles, 4x4 types, horses. We have people out there horseback, so we definitely need your help with that. If you want to bring drones, we definitely need drones that help us with our mapping, and also with the search from aerial search and things like that. So we need it all. This weekend, like I said, will be more focused on line searches. I will have a location. I will add that to the website soon. You guys keep checking the website. If you're planning to come out, check it on Friday. And I will have the meeting place on Friday evening, afternoon. And that's because it's all based on my investigation, and I need to do it that way. So you guys can help me. I really appreciate it. You come out. The line searches will be a tremendous help. Line searches, we can see details on the ground. That's what I reached out to that department, and look, I have the people that are willing to do the line searches. We've been doing it. we're doing it for all these months. We've been doing it, and you know, all they have to do is bring the resources. We can work together. I try to get them to do that. I invite them out there twice. They came every time, but they came empty-handed except for that once. They came empty-handed the first time. The second time, they didn't bring everything that I asked for. However, they did do a search of one well. Yet the cameras that they used didn't go under the water, didn't check the well properly. So, you know, of course, I have to do those things myself. I haven't gotten anything back. They say it's going to give me the, paperwork to this cadaver dog they say they had out there, this white cadaver dog. And, you know, I just wanted to verify if it was certified. I have yet to get that. So, you know, and the mines, the vertical mines that's out there that need to be searched in close proximity to my son where he went missing. They say they searched one, they went to one. They say it wasn't deep as they thought it was. And the second one they couldn't make it to because they damaged their vehicle or something. And I'm still needing those mines searched. And also the other vertical mines in that area, there's many of them. Arizona is littered with mines. You know, this is one of the gold rush country states. And, you know, with all this resources they have here, people is having these mines and stuff like that. So that area is littered with those. So they have to be searched. And so just want to let you guys know that's what I'm doing, you know, out there is making sure I get those things taken care of. Now, I'm trying to get to these questions, and I apologize. Like I said, I have technical difficulties with my computer right now, but I'm really, really working on that. Again, for those who are new to the chat here, to the Q&A, my name is David Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. And, you know, I've been out here since June the 26th looking for my son. My son went missing from a well site at his job. You know, he worked as a field geologist. His major is geology. And he supposedly had just got his vehicle, drove off to never be seen again. You know, on July the 19th, the vehicle was found like this and behind me. So that's the story. You go on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. You would definitely get those answers on some of the questions that you may have, and also look at the video for the searches. Okay, I think I have a question here from D Love, Mr. Robinson. If Daniel's car was on federal land, does the FBI automatically take over? I would think so. I would think so. You know, we look at the mapping of the BLM lands, and BLM is right. Bureau of Land Management is right here. If you would take a couple steps or several steps out west from where the vehicle location is, you're on BLM land. And it's just that close. And we can't be too certain if it's not really on BLM land. We're not a surveyor. We're just going by mapping. And, you know, if you survey that, I'm sure that vehicle right here is sitting on federal land. I have yet got in contact by the federal government or anyone in that field that would say, hey, you know, just check into that, do a survey and see where the vehicle is located. And I feel like if it's on their property, yes, it should prompt the FBI to come in. That'll happen in so one of the other cases you guys know out of Florida. They was on federal land, and that also helped prompt the FBI into that case. And that should also do it with my son's case. No, same thing. You know, so nothing is different. That's again, like I said, what I fight for is equality, and everybody should be treated equal, no matter who you are, no matter what race you are. Every family suffers the same. So I talk to many families, and you know, they will tell you we all suffer the same. There's nobody suffering more than the other. So, you know, missing a loved one, you don't know this pain until you have it. You know, so I pray that nobody has this pain, but you know, it happens, and so we have to deal with it as a family. It's very hard. Thank you for comments like this. Praying for answers, information leading to Daniel. Every time you guys leave out these wonderful comments and stuff like that, it helps me as a father to keep my strength going. You know, I need all the support I can, morally support. You guys signed a petition, you're donating to coming out to the searches, passing out flyers, sharing the story. All that stuff matters. All that stuff matters to keep my son's name out there. So, okay, let me see here. Can a foreign person sign the petition? I'm in the UK. I don't see why not. I'm not sure. I can check with the policies of
of the petition and see if there's something that is a restriction on that. But I didn't have, as far as I know, there's no restriction on who can sign a petition. I think as long as you have an email address, and I can't see that happening any other way. So also, um, okay. I'm trying to see if I can get some more of your questions. Again, I was looking for questions to, give answers to. That's what this Q&A is for those who following the story of my son. You guys have been very supportive, and I decided to utilize my time in the morning, my morning time, and to, share with you guys what I'm doing. If you have any questions, I try to answer them to the best of my abilities, and the ones I don't know or I can't share with you, I will tell you, because this is an investigation going on my behalf. I don't know what the police department is doing. They don't communicate with me, so of course, I won't know what the department is doing. So for me, I have to do my own investigation. I had to do my own investigation. They turned over every piece of evidence that would be evidence. You can't do an investigation without evidence. And this department claiming they doing an investigation, but yet they gave me the evidence. They gave me my son's vehicle the day after it was found like this. I mean, they threatened me that if I didn't get it out of there, they was gonna have total away, and I was gonna pay towing fees. I'm a guy not from, just like my son, not from Arizona. I told him, hey, look, I didn't know towing company or whatever. Can you give me 3 days to figure this thing out? He finally agreed to that. In the 3 days, that's when I demanded to see the Chief Hall, and I brought along with an observer, and I recorded it. And we had this big meeting, and with all his staff, Chief Sanders and the rest of them, and that's when I learned all this information. That's when, after that meeting, they gave me the rest of my son's things, everything in evidence bags. However, I didn't open those things. I put it in my trunk, took him to my hotel room. When I got my private investigator, I handed all those things over to him. He the one alerted me that, the bag these are not evidence. It's in evidence bags, but it got it marked for safekeeping. Safekeeping means that the Buckeye Police Department looked at this, and they felt that my son was going to come back and grab his thing. So it's kind of contradictory, the things they say in the report, that would suggest that they was looking into my son's case as if it's an investigation. They didn't do that, because if there was an investigation, why would they release this vehicle to me, and they release everything that came from that scene to me? Gave me a picture, they gave me a partial report, then they gave me a full report, and they told me personally they had nothing else. They had no more leads to follow, and that was it. They gave me the full report, and it was done. But then, since then, you guys, like I said, you guys giving all the support, and you guys putting that pressure on that department. That's what happens. It takes people. It takes people. It's power in the people. You guys are making phone calls, sending letters, signing a petition. That puts so much pressure on them guys that I think they're up to about 4 or 5 reports now. And I already found some discrepancies where they took some sentences away and added some. So it's things like that. So, that's what's going on. They're covering themselves, and they're making up things as they go. That way, in my opinion, that way they can just cover themselves. So just want to let you guys know that. And I'm still working on that part to show, anyway, I have another question here from Beck. Were they able to get phone locations or any cell tower pings from his records to see if the phone went anywhere that could account for the 11 miles after the Jeep initially crashed? Those are the things I'm working on in my investigation to get those answers. Those answers was asked the first day that I got here and talked to that department. I sat in, they put me in the interrogation room, me and my daughter, and we asked these questions, and they asked us questions. They wanted to look at the phone records, and what I did is literally, and I tell people over and over again, and they write in the report that they got phone records from the family. If holding up phone like this and scrolling down the phone, and when they sit across the table, is getting obtaining phone records, that's what they did. So they never got a paper copy of phone records. I'd like them to show it to me, but they never did. According to what I know, it never have been given that. And so, no, to answer that question again, no. They haven't done anything like that at the beginning. They told me they couldn't get cell phone pings. They needed warrants. They told me they couldn't get information from his Uconnect off his car because they need warrants. They couldn't. They told me they couldn't even get video of him at a traffic light. There's a lot of cameras out here. I can look on the corner and down the street here, and there's cameras on every corner, every major corner. And somehow my son's vehicle went through every corner, every place there is without being seen. So that's the things they told me and my family. Cell phone pings, I'm working on that. I'm sure we're going to need a warrant for that. So the only way I can get that done is to present this case well to the Attorney General. And when that time comes, let them do the work. You know what I'm saying? They have the arresting power and they have the power to, get warrants and things like that. So I'm relying on law enforcement for that behalf, but they'll stop me from finding out the answers and the truth about what happened to my son. So I'm continuing to do that. And I thank you guys for your support. Okay, see if I can get another question. If anybody have any more questions, please feel free. If I miss your questions, it'll make it easy if you guys will stick on your question before you ask your question. Put the word question in all caps, and then follow up with your questions. That way, when I'm strolling, I can can see that a lot faster. So that'll help me out a lot. Thank you so much for your nice comments and things like that. Thank you also, 12-Step Woman, and say, Mr. Robinson, I'm honored to meet you, sir. I'm here because you knew things about you 24/7, and also from John Q. Yes, I love those people. I really appreciate their hard work in the background. A lot of you don't know they're working a hard campaign to try to help me get the funds up to get this forensic work done. This is important. It wasn't done on the scene, y'all. I'm telling you, it wasn't done on the scene. As days go by, it's getting worse and worse. DNA had to be checked. Things had to be checked. So, these guys didn't do their job. They dropped the ball. And, I had to do it myself. I had to do my own searches myself. If you notice, it's a pattern. Since I've been here since June 26th, it's a pattern. I'm doing everything on my own. And that's a problem. And, I shouldn't just be outraged. I think this country should be outraged. I'm not going to play the total veteran card, but I'm a veteran, a disabled veteran. I fought for this country, and nobody in that department is fighting for me. We were trained to never leave a person behind, never leave a fallen comrade, to leave nobody behind. But they leave my son behind, So I had to go out here and do this thing myself, and I would not let anyone get in my way. This department, to me, in my opinion, is in my way. They don't want to do the job. They're making excuses. They writing things in reports just to cover their behinds. And, so I have to do it myself. You're in my way, you need to get out of the way, and they need to call somebody in who can do the job. So, and who can help me. So thank you, everyone who's helping. So thank you, Shrinking Robinson, Sharon, I'm sorry, Shrinking Sharon, for your comment there. Say please share it with everyone Please tell a friend and to tell a friend and get the word out to everyone and that's true. What I'm saying? And it's word of mouth. This has been going on for 8 months. The day marks 8 months that my son has been missing. Like I said, it's hard for my family. Just because you guys don't see my family on camera, they prefer not to be on camera, to be away from the spotlight and everything else. From public eye. They want to grieve. They want to grieve, in their own way. So I'm just the father who decided to step in that gap for my family. To be on the front lines, to put my boot on the ground and make my son my mission. He's my son. I have to find him. He's my responsibility, and I have to make sure that happens. So I'm not going to let anyone or anything try to stop me from finding my son. You would do the same thing for your loved ones. And I know you would, because that's what people do for their loved ones. You just don't give up on your loved ones, and especially if you love them. So I'm definitely not doing that. And I thank you guys for, saying for being here. So thank you so much. See if I can get any more questions or any more comments. Let's see. Okay. Also, I'm new at this YouTube experience, so just like you do say, please hit the like button. That helps. Also, me get the word out. More support I get and things like that. I guess the algorithms, how they work, I can get the word out a little more, and that's important. Like I say, that's the reason why I have a city distribution and to pass out flyers every week. I'll tell you guys, it ain't just desert searches. It's not just passing out flyers. It's investigation. It's following leads. But definitely, like I said, we have to put those flyers out. I work with Lamar. Thanks again to Lamar, who the company gave me a great deal on billboards. I have billboards here in Arizona, mainly on I-10. And those billboards, like I said, they're on the east side of Phoenix, and they have them out on the west side towards Buckeye. So you guys out there on I-10, look out for the billboards with Daniel on there, and definitely, saying that way you can see the word being spread. You spread it to your family and things like that. You want these flyers? Come out to the searches. I have flyers at all the searches, and also have them at the city distribution. You either can just pick them up, take them to your city, because my goal is to cover every city in Arizona, or you can stay there with me and a group of people that usually stay every Saturday, and we pass them out in the city. We go block to block, we pass them out to people, put them on cars and things like that. We go to different areas, and so we have a great time getting those flyers out. So, and at the same time, bringing awareness, and we need that. You'll be surprised. After all these months, I run to people all the time. They haven't even heard of the store, and they're here in Arizona. So you have plenty of room to show somebody else what's going on. So thank you so much. From Leslie Beats, was Daniel's coworker the last person to see him out there? If so, has the coworker been questioned or talked to? Yes, according to the story that I gotten from the Buckeye Police Department at first, and also, of course, like I said before, from day one, not only I was looking for my son, but I also was having my own personal investigation. I talked to the Buckeye Police Department. They told me the gentleman said that that the gentleman was the only person there at that well site with my son. That's their first time meeting each other, and the other guy, he don't work for the same company my son worked for, but he's a representative for the well, the company that built the well, put the drill a well in the ground, and my son had to meet him out there. So yes, he's been questioned, and that's the thing. None of them never been interrogated, but they've been questioned. I question them. So that's one of the first things I did when I got here in Arizona, is to look this man in the eye. I want him to tell me that story out of his own mouth, because I want to hear what the police had to say. I want to hear what this man had to say. He had to look me in my eye and tell me my son that I know since birth, he's my son, somehow decided to wave his hand off to him after 10 minutes of knowing him. And the guy said he was acting strange and all the stuff he had to say about my son. And he got in his vehicle, waved at him, and just simply just drove off and disappeared out of nowhere, just disappeared in thin air. And then 30 days later, I guess he was driving the vehicle around the desert for 30 days. And 30 days later, almost 30 days later, the vehicle showed up in his ravine back here, just like that. This guy had to, look me in my face. That's before I knew the vehicle was going to end up. This before the vehicle ended up here, but I had to look this guy in the face, and he had to tell me, that that's what he believed, or what he said, or what he saw, and things like that. I can tell you on my investigation, this gentleman changed his story. I hear people try to make excuses. Yeah, his story's changed. It's only been a couple of days. Come on now. No, people's stories don't change that fast. This guy added so much detail that he didn't even tell the police department what he did that day. So, I let them know what he said to me. I had a witness there, and two witnesses there, and they didn't put that in the report. They selected to put things in their report. They centralize or make the report some type of love story or something, or triangle or something, whatever they're doing. They'll suggest that my son was mentally unstable, and even a stalker of some type. And he, I guess, decided to leave his family and join the monastery and all the kind of stuff like that. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did talk to this gentleman at that well site, and I had to get the answers that I needed. So you guys definitely can hit me with these questions. I really appreciate it. Again, my name is David Robinson. I'm the father of Geologist Daniel Robinson, who went missing on June the 23rd. He was at his work site. And the story is that he, after 10 minutes, wanted to leave. He waved off, got in his vehicle, and just disappeared to this day. His vehicle was found in a ravine, a 20-foot ravine, in a remote area of the desert, almost 3.5 miles away from the well site. And his clothing and everything he was wearing on his body was on the ground, all down to his socks and underwear. He somehow, according to the police department, escaped injury. But at the same time, same breath, they say they believe he had a severe head injury that caused him to shred his clothes, and he hid on a tree, or he also decided to leave his family to join a monastery, become a monk. So, those are things that I have to go by that department where they gave me. They have yet to date give me a different theory that they believe. My investigator and I came up, found these evidence that he found, with the vehicle. He's an accident reconstructionist. He found all this evidence about that vehicle. He also found a sock that matches the socks in the stocking evidence bag that Buckeye collected weeks later after the vehicle was found near the well site. And, we was reluctant or some other things we found to turn those things over to that department. But we did, in hopes that they would work with us and we could work together. Because, like I said, I had a private investigator, but I'm still doing my investigation on my own, like I'm doing now. And, so it's like 3 investigations going on at one time. But I wanted to work with that department. We talked about it. He turned all the stuff over to that department, had a meeting with them. And after that, they shut down. They don't talk to me no more. I can leave them a voicemail. I'll call them right now. And you guys see the voicemail come on. And I can tell you, they won't call me back. So I stopped calling. They're not reaching out to me or my family for anything. The only time I ever hear from that department is whenever they want something. Hey, you have any more phone records? If them guys say they was getting phone records stuff, why they asking me? Hey, you got any phone records updates? Can you send me? No, you get a warrant and get it. I don't work for Buckeye. Buckeye works for me. And, they should be out there doing their job and get these warrants or whatever they need to do to find out what happened to my son. Okay, so I'm trying to see if I have any more questions here. Let's see. Thank you all for coming out, D-Love. Thank you. Thank you, 12-Step Woman, for being here. Thank you for sharing. Sharon, I see you say you're sharing there the story. Thank you to Grizzly True Crime. Thank you, Grizzly, for being here. Thank you, Batia, for, yes, I see a question here. Thank you, Batia, for your question. Have you contacted the Department of Internal Affairs? There's another department that supervises them. No, I have not. I have not reached out to the Internal Affairs. I'm really, at this point, getting my evidence together, my timeline, and also my last thing that I'm lacking on is that forensics work. That's why I'm asking you guys, really, please, if you can, I'm trying to get the funding up. These searches are expensive. I've been doing this since, I started searches back when the vehicle, before the vehicle was found, and my son was at that well site, last place he was there. And we utilize a lot of equipment. I rent out equipment every week. I had to live here in Arizona. All those expenses are very expensive, and they've been going by. So I'm glad you guys, and I'm happy you guys donated all this time to keep me here, and also to keep me on the ground, to keep the supplies going, the flyers, to everything we're doing here. To go out and do these chase these leads out there in different cities, whatever the case may be. You guys have done that, and I really appreciate it to this point. I would have made it here 8 months. This time since my son was missing, I would not have been here this long. I would have been fighting. As a father, you probably can tell by now that I would do anything I can or whatever I need to do to make sure I'm here for my son. So that was going to happen anyway. I'm going to be here regardless, but you guys made it a whole lot easier for me when you guys support. So no, I did not reach out to Internal Affairs yet. I haven't not reached out to the Attorney General yet. I have those things in the workings. Like I said, I had to put everything together. It had to be presented the correct way. It had to be presented a certain way. So I would have my private investigator to do that. some things, once I get this money up, he had to request the forensics work to be done, and also, get that stuff rolling. Just need to come up with the funding. So thank you guys for your help with that. Let's see if I have any more questions. Good morning, you too, Sunset. Thank you, D Love, again. Let's see here. Yes, I can understand. As a parent, this question, this comment, Lele, Sai, as a parent, we can't get those records, so that makes no sense. Well, some records can be, obtained, by the Freedom of Information. Those are avenues that I'm be working on to make sure I get those records. I had to get my attorney, see if she can help me out with that when that time comes, because that's also can help me with everything that I know so far in my investigation, and to make sure that everything's been done properly. I have a question here. Also, thank the lost ones. I'm from Colorado. I have a specialized search dog team. If I come down this Saturday, can we get an area alone so my dogs can focus on their scent? They get muddled up around people, and that's true. I know about those cadaver dogs. We had them out before 3 times. These dogs alerted on a specific tree, 3 different sets of dogs at 3 different times. And yes, we definitely have some areas that you can, if you bring your dogs out. I hope you do, and I really appreciate that. I really want to be there, and when I get there, you get there. I want to shake your hands, and I want to tell you how much I really appreciate you coming out with your dogs, and let you know that when you do come out, we're all a family, and we look out for each other out there. So yes, I look forward to you coming out. So please, bring your dogs, and we definitely have areas that need to be searched. Being that I have this specialized search this weekend, that is perfect for people who have, like yourself, who have bring those specialized dogs, because it won't be anybody in those areas to disturb. Dogs, so cadaver dogs, they definitely need people away. Saying they don't need that disturbance. They don't need things like that. So yes, thank you so much for that offer and coming to help. So if you can do that, yes, I need you to, if you can reach out to me. I meant to put these banners up. You can contact me directly with this number down on the bottom of the screen. So you guys, welcome. Thank you so much. And like I said, I look forward to hearing from you, and we can talk about that, discuss that. So I have a question here from Batia, who supervises the police chief of Buckeye. You should only communicate with that individual. And I believe it's the city managers. Those are the people who control their money or their funding. So I need to find out which department, who controls the money. Whoever controls the purse controls that department. So that's who I would be reaching out to if I want to pursue anything against that department. So that's the people I would talk to. Chief Hall, he's the chief of that department. So like when I sent out those letters requesting him to come out to the searches, he's the guy that I had to go to. The first time I asked him out, I had a just ask him, and I can't remember exactly the letter, the way I wrote that letter, but I was able to get him to send out the officers. They came out like they came in the last time, about 4 or 5 officers with one razor and empty-handed. That was the first search. The first time it came out. That was the first time it came out. The only time it came out. The second time, I wrote a scathing letter. I pointed out, highlighted the fact that land out there is a big crime scene. Since I've been doing my searches, the volunteers and myself, we found human remains out there. You find human remains out there, old ones at that. And those guys say they did extensive searches for my son. They claimed they'd been on the ground. They claimed they'd been on helicopters. They claimed they had these dogs, tracking dogs, cadaver dogs, and all this kind of stuff. And then, like I keep saying, I like to use that analogy, they didn't even find a construction cone to this date. They have nothing on the record where they say they found anything. And here it is. You got civilians on the ground finding everything that's wrong with that land out there, everything that's wrong with Buckeye crime rate. It reflects what goes on in that city. So, in that area. So them guys like they don't do anything. They haven't done all that. So yeah, who police is the police, and the chief and everybody, I think, is the person who holds the pocketbook. So that's who I will be talking to the most when it comes to anything with that department. Okay, baby girl, add 12. That's a question. Have you been able to find any leads from Daniel's phone? I know Google usually creates a timeline of your day automatically. Yes, I have. And that's the beauty. That's the beautiful part. I was able to get in contact with some people with Google. It was also able to get all of that stuff downloaded back to my son's phone for me. And, when I received that phone from Buckeye Police Department, first of all, I have him on a recorded line saying that he took that phone off the line, off that scene back here, and put it in his back pocket. The other thing is he made a clone of my son's phone. But when I received that phone, it was missing a lot of things. It was missing the memory card. Everything about this young lady was swiped from the phone. His text messages, everything was still there except the text message between him and this young lady. Things like that. A lot of things are missing. So his whole Google search history, Google, like you said, these steps that you take with Google, all that was wiped. The phone was wiped. So I had to get that stuff downloaded back on his phone, got it back together, and I found a lot of information that I needed. And that's part of my report, my investigation, and it's part of my report. And I have to keep that for myself. But thank you. Yes, I have some leads from that. I have a lot of information that came from that phone, and I'm working those accordingly. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Also, again, have it out there. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe. That helps the algorithm. I really, like I said again, I'm learning all the stuff about YouTube. I decided to do this whole YouTube thing just to bring awareness for my son. I understand that I have to ask you guys to hit that like button and also, like I say, subscribe in order for me to get out a little farther reach. Really glad and happy you guys came along to help me do better with this Q&A. I want to share this information with you guys. Everybody who just came on, some people just came on, some people getting off. I see the numbers going up and down. The ones that just came on, also, I want to let you guys know I'm having a candlelight visual coming up, and I hope you guys decide to come along. I will have those dates for you. You can see that being reflected on the website. Hopefully this today or sometime tomorrow, you'll see that reflecting. I have a meeting with the staff to come up with the date. We had a tentative date that we may not meet, so it's a little too close for that date to have this candlelit visual. So I'm going to spread it out a little farther and give you guys time to prepare for that, because I really need a bit showing. We need to make a statement. It's going to be here in Phoenix. We look for a location. We're going to keep it here in Phoenix. And so you guys, you come out and support that. I really would be grateful. Also, I want you all to know that also I'm getting ready to start this nonprofit, the Daniel Robinson Foundation. And I want you guys to help me on that show support on that. So I'm getting that off the ground, and that's coming up soon. Also, I changed the way that I'm doing my searches. We was out there, utilizing a lot of resources, and we need to still use those resources. However, I have to do an investigation, and this investigation requires that I get this vehicle, everything that was on the ground, my son's personal belongings, his personal computer, and like I said, the vehicle, all that need to be done. The forensics need to be done on those items, and it's very costly. So in order to get the funds up for that, I have to start cutting back on the searches. Sadly to say, last week we canceled the searches because of that, so we can regroup and decide how we can better save money on the searches. So right now we're down to, which is great, we're doing line searches. That's what we'll be doing this weekend. That's the main function, is line searches. Line search is important. That's how we found human remains out there. That's how we find, at this point, you can almost imagine, it's hard for me to say. I'm not looking for my son walking around the desert out there, those without wearing those clothes on the ground, with no shoes on his feet for 8 months. If my son is out there, I need to bring him home regardless. You know what I'm saying? And it takes line searches to find him. in at this situation. So, I'm not, it's hard to say that, and I'm really optimistic that y'all will find a way to um, bring my son home unhurt and alive. So that's why I still having that hope and keep that hope alive by having the city distribution, passing out the flyers, making awareness, checking these homeless shelters, these facilities, anything to try to see there's any possibility of my son is still out there somewhere. So, you guys, I thank you so much. If you have any information, you can also hit the tip line that you see on the bottom of the screen, right here, also on the sign back here behind me. If you have any information or know anything, you heard anything, I mean, by all means, hit that tip line up. It's 24-hour, 7-day a week live operators there. They can take your call. They can get you anonymous or non-anonymous. And if you don't want to talk to anybody, you can just simply get on your phone this number and text the word tip to that number, and the form will come up. You can stay anonymous, or you can give your information. So either way you do it, you can be anonymous or non-anonymous. You can get us tip. Nobody would know. So I mean, it'll be appreciative. This if you know anything, please. We have a hurting family. His mother, myself, his siblings. We all hurting, and we need Daniel back home. So if you know anything, heard anything, please help us out. Thank you so much. Also, I have the flyers, have the billboards out now for you guys. I was telling people earlier, you're going I-10, I have them on the east side and also the west side of the city, going all the way up to Buckeye. So you guys can check that out if you're out there on the interstate. Look out for those billboards that have the information there that you see here on the tip line, and also bringing awareness. And you guys keep sharing the story. That really helps a whole lot. Also, for Grizzly True Crime, thank you, Gizla, for that. Please like, comment, and share. It definitely helps the algorithm boost this live stream for maximum reach. And thank you so much, because yes, I learned a lot from you about how to do these the stuff on YouTube. So thank you so much for helping with this channel, and I really appreciate what you do in the background. So like I said, like she said, you guys share and help me out. That definitely helps. So thank you for sharing. Also, again, Shrink Sharon, you just shared on your community tab, and I thank you. God bless you for that. Getting the word out, that helps a whole lot. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I have a question here from baby girl at 12. Have any activists reach out to help you get the word out? Well, I have one. Her name is Gisette. I don't know if she want to put her name out, but she's an activist here, very good activist. She put out a lot of nice murals of bringing awareness to Black history and things like that. She even have one now on the Phoenix Suns Stadium that she had put up, and she's doing a lot of work out there. She's a person in the background that helps out a lot for the search, meaning that she bring me in contact with a lot of people in the background that can help me get the story out farther, and also help in other areas. So yes, we have one activist I know, and also we have one gentleman that helps out too. Larnell is his name. Very good guy. He's always there anytime I need him in different capacities. He's helping out there, getting the word out himself, and also get me in touch with very important people. So I'm grateful for these two people. So yes, I have those people out there that's out helping in every way they can. You guys are helping every way you can. Just being here in support for the searchers, and also supporting me on this Q&A. Like again, for those who just join in, I see the numbers going up. I'm David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson, who went missing on June the 23rd last year from his job site. He was out there doing what he loved, doing his job. He's a very responsible young man. At the time, he was 24 years old. He just, coming out here from South Carolina. He graduated from the College of Charleston with honors. He came out here for his first real job. And he came out here, been responsible, got himself this nice vehicle back here. It's not so nice on that picture, but he started off with a little car that he had to fix. He listened to him when he was a little young man, got up on the car, me learned how to fix the car. He's been keeping that car running. And then when he got his money up together, he bought himself this nice car that he's very proud of. The story is that he supposedly was acting a little odd or strange or something and waved off this guy at the well site and hopped in his car where he just disappeared to this day. His vehicle right here was showed up in this ravine, 20-foot ravine, almost 30 days later on July the 19th. It was found on right there in that ravine by a rancher who was looking out there for his cattle, and that's the story. And that it wasn't there 2 to 3 days prior, so it was actually put there. According to this rancher, and also is according to the investigator that I had to hire, because this department looked at that scene back there, that vehicle like it is, my son clothing, everything's wearing on his body on the ground, and looked at that and felt like it wasn't strange. They felt like it was something that he did himself, and they went even farther. They doubled down on it by giving me everything. They gave me the vehicle the next day, and then right a few days after that, they gave me everything that you see on that scene in evidence bags marked for safekeeping. So that means that they suspected that he was coming back for his things. There was no investigation, because you're investigating, you won't be sending something expecting for a person to come back because you're thinking they're coming back. You can't have it double ways, So, but they write in their report, you guys, that they were somehow to this day still doing an investigation. That's contradictory to me, So the thing is, you have to ask yourself that logical question: if the investigation been done, why do I have everything? So thank you guys for your questions on that. Also, thank you, Anu, for telling people how ways they can donate. You can also donate to Mr. Robinson through Cash App. Please help find Daniel, $. Please help find Daniel. That's true. I have that on the Twitter page. It's for those who expressed to me that they want to donate through GoFundMe because of fees and things like that. People have different ways they want to donate. Some don't want certain fees to come out. They want all the money to come to the cause, and don't want nothing taken out. So trying to find out different avenues to accommodate people who want different ways to do those type things. So yes, that's right. You have a Cash App and also have a GoFundMe. You can find the GoFundMe on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, and you guys can donate. I really appreciate that. Your donations keeping me here. It keeps me on the ground. Keep me here on the ground. Keep my boots on the ground. It's keeping this investigation of my own being done. It's building up the money that I need for the forensics work to be done. It's keeping me to be able to get the equipment, the flyers, these things like you see back here behind me, the billboards, all that stuff. All that stuff costs money, and you guys are helping. So and it's important. If we had those type of resources being spent by that department on day one when my son went missing, I would have found Daniel by now. You know what I'm saying? I would have been along with this department finding my son. I really believe that. I really believe because they dropped the ball on day one. This is the reason why it's been 8 months now that my son has been missing. They've been playing these games, in my opinion, and now they're chasing like a chicken without a head, covering themselves. They cover themselves so bad that I count up to, I think, like 4 police reports now. Those police reports are different from the ones they gave me originally. So, I'm looking into those things also, asking those type questions. I have a question here from Leslie Beats again. Thank you, Leslie, because I really need those questions. You really helped me out. Has a question: has the company Daniel worked for assisted in the search for him or done anything to help? Yes. We, of course, as a family, we want this company to at least, before I got here, I can say they should have. And I talked to the owners. I have extensive meetings with the owner. Matter of fact, the owner, the wife of the gentleman I talked to, the husband, his wife owned the companies, Mason New World, and I talked to her husband, and that's one of the things that I discussed with him. Look, if your employee, somebody that works for you, go missing, you have the resources, you have a company. They have several locations, big company. It's small but big. The first thing I would have at least done was put in a missing person report. This is your employee. The second thing, I would have put the resources out there. I would have chartered a helicopter. I even chartered a helicopter in my searches. I would charter a helicopter, and go out there in that desert and look for your employee. They haven't done none of that stuff. Matter of fact, the only alert we got that Daniel was not seen at his at the well site was from one of the coworkers came to my daughter's house looking for him, and that alerted her that something was wrong. So the thing is, no, they have not did that stuff at day one, and that's the things I talked to him about. And I know they was trying to help them as they can because my son and their son are friends. They was friends in college. That's how my son learned about this job through his friend. His parents own the company. That's their child. So Daniel and that person is friends. And yeah, I was really angry about that. There's some things I still uptight about. But I can tell you from that date, I don't know if it's a job directive from that company or it's just some couple of workers who got together. But I know one of Mr. Daniel's supervisor will come out to the searches to help at the beginning. It's been about 8 of them, come out to the searches, and I'm really grateful that they was doing that support at day one. When I started my searches, they started coming out. However, that number dropped. Only one come out, and that's the supervisor. He comes out from time to time to help with the man the gate. So I still appreciate his help. So yes, he has some coworkers that come out there. However, so they could do more too. So here's another question. A baby girl, lad 12. Any witnesses see Daniel leave his residence the morning he went missing? Just wondering if someone could have been following or watching him. Well, I can tell you this. I don't know that. Who saw Daniel outside of that desert? But I can tell you I have a lot of information about those days before my son went missing. So that's part of my investigation. I can't put that out, but I can tell you I know a whole lot what happened in those days because of the Google history that I was able to finally obtain. So yes, those are good questions that you have. That people, his neighbors. I did initially when I started my investigation. I talked to his neighbors. One that specifically would hang out with my son often at his apartment. I don't know if they hang out in other places, but I do know he'll come over to my son's apartment. My son go to his apartment. They kind of hang out and they play video games or whatever the case may be. So now I learned that from some of the neighbors across from my son. So yeah, I did my due diligence to question people around his apartment. So yes, thank you so much for that question. I have another one here. Question: is the company Daniel worked for helping out on anything? Please forgive me. Again, currently, I do have one that come out to help. He usually man the gate. The sign here that I have, he helped put that up on the gate. Like I said, he helped direct people into and I really into the quarry area that we meet to our command center. So yeah, I'm really grateful that that one employee come out and help me. He's my son's supervisor. However, when before the vehicle showed up, um, I had, like I said, at least about 8 of them show up, from his company. I don't know, like I said, if it's the company directive to tell them to come out, but I can say from emails that going through that company that I know about, yeah, it was just coworkers getting together from the way I read it that decided to get together and come out to the searches. So I don't know if that was they're kind of like a volunteer thing. Hey, you want to go out and come out and help? It wasn't a demand or something like, hey, this is our employee. We need you guys to go out there and search. I haven't seen that in the messages. So that's the thing. That's I don't know, but I can say to date, only one. The rest of them they long time dropped off, coming out to the searches to help support. But that one, he comes. So I'm grateful for his help whenever he do come out. I have a question again, right here from Batia. Who is Gary McGull, supervisor? He's in charge of Buckeye Police Department's professional standard unit and works with Chief Hall find out who their supervisor is. I do not know. I'm not familiar with that name. I will keep that name, and check into it. So thank you for that name. I'll try to see if I can look into that. I do not know who he is, and I don't know the supervisor. I would assume that Chief Hall is their supervisor or their main supervisor, being that he's the chief of police um, of Buckeye and the professional standards unit. I need to check in that, but it's a lot of stuff been done. All that stuff is going to be taken care of once I, get all my stuff together here on my end and go to the Attorney General. I'm sure all of the questions like that and accountability and things like that will, come out, and these people will be held accountable for they dropping the ball. These guys dropped the ball on my son. They damaged my son's case. If something did turn out it was criminal, the way they did this job here, treat my son like he just did this to himself. He's a victim of his own doing, and they didn't even so much as want to do forensic work on the scene. They just dragged that car. They dragged that vehicle out of there so badly they bust the tires, because they in my opinion, didn't care. So they see it as that this guy is gonna come back, I'm assuming, in my opinion, they thought that I was gonna come in town from South Carolina. Some new guy coming in town was just gonna disappear in the wind. No, he mistaken. He ran into a father that loves his children and loves his son and would do anything, for his children. So, they ran to the wrong person. Wasn't going anywhere, and they're shocked. And I think that's what the problem is with that department. They didn't expect me to stay here this long, and they didn't expect for me to continue to fight. So I would tell you that. And this is Mr. Larnell. I see a comment that all of this that Mr. Robinson is doing, the Buckeye Police Department should have done and should be doing. And I agree. And I talk to you all the time, Mr. Larnell. And I agree with that. I should have had the help from day one. Some of the stuff, like you said, everything I have been doing since I got here on the ground, should have been done by that department. I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have had to ask for GoFundMe money. I shouldn't have to be out here creating a search. I shouldn't have been out here doing my own investigation. I shouldn't, it's a lot of things. I can keep the list goes on and on. I shouldn't be out here chasing leads. I shouldn't be traveling to Sedona and Flagstaff and all these other places chasing leads. That's what they should be doing. So, yeah, you're right. That's not a job of a family member. They get paid to do these jobs. They're collecting paychecks, and they should be doing something. Okay. Let's see if I have any more questions. You guys, thank you so much for sending these questions. I'm getting close to my time, and I thank you guys for really holding out and taking your time out and being here with me, because as long as you guys are here with me and you can spread awareness, that helped me out a lot. This thing got to keep going. My son's still missing. Today marks 8 months. Today he went missing on June the 23rd, 2021. The day is February the 23rd. And my son been missing for 8 months. And that's very hard for me and my family. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's a horrible situation. It's very painful. We had to go through the holidays, whether it was Thanksgiving without Daniel, the Christmas holiday without Daniel, the New Year, and then he had a birthday in January. So all of that, those things like that definitely is painful for me and my family. So also, if you guys want to have any questions outside of this Q&A, you also can text the number that you see on the bottom of the screen. That comes to me. If you want to leave a tip, a non-anonymous tip, that comes to me. If you want to use a burner phone like some people do to do other things and they send stuff to me, you can do that too. So, but I'd rather for you guys to use a tip line. If you have any tips, there's a tip line number on the bottom of the screen. You guys can, stay anonymous or non-anonymous. Again, that's a 24-hour hotline. Live operators, they will take your call. They will leave you anonymous or non-anonymous, and you can go either way. So also, if you just don't want to talk to anybody, you can just text the word tip to that number, and the page will come up for you to be able to fill out the paperwork, the form, and you can still stay anonymous or non-anonymous. So you still have the option to do it either way. If you need to know if you want to try to help out with anything, or you need to know how you can help, you can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. You can sign the petition. That helps a whole lot because the petition is there to put pressure on that police department, and also in future endeavors when it comes to this forensic work that I'm getting ready to go to use with the Attorney General, because I have the backing of you guys. And also I'm hoping to make some type of dent with everything I'm doing here in the community to make some changes to where they police missing people. There should never be a time where a family member doing what I have to do to go look for their loved one because the people that are getting paid to do the job decided not to do the job. Dragging their feet, making these excuses, giving over what could be evidence to the family members. Assume with these theories, they come up with these wild theories and doubling down on theories that suggest that my son somehow was mentally unstable or all this other kind of romantic stuff they put in their report outside of everything else that me and my family would say that we believe. Those things should be in a report. What the families know about their son and child and sibling. So that kind of thing. So you guys helping with that. So like I said, you find in there, you can do the petition. You also can find on that site how you can join in on the search. I do search every Saturday. I just missed one search last week, so we can regroup because I'm trying to get the funding together. I hope you guys can donate. There's also a donate button there. You can donate for the cause because I need to try to get the money up for the forensic work that needs to be done on this vehicle. It's going to be costly, and they need to be done. That's part of the investigation that had to be done. You look at this picture right here. That's from Buckeye. No forensic work was done on that vehicle. They told me it wasn't done on the vehicle. I had a young man. He know who he is. That was at that meeting. They didn't do any forensics work on that vehicle. I demanded them to do fingerprinting. They did a couple of days after they gave this vehicle to me. The next day after the vehicle was found by that rancher. So that needed to be done. Like I say, you guys can donate. You can also find information about searches. I have been doing searches since my son was missing, and then also I extended my search to cover the ground when this vehicle showed up. And then I moved on even from that. I started a city search when I was going out to the homeless shelters and things. Then I turned that over to now what is called the flyer distribution to make awareness, to bring awareness to every city here in Arizona. And it's so far I'm reaching a lot of cities out there. Also, I'm still able to pass out these flyers among the homeless population, the colleges, to you name it, put it on cars and things like that. So it's a lot of work being done. I'm utilizing the funds properly, and making sure I'm bringing awareness, make sure I keep my son's name out there relevant, because like I said, that's the most important part, to keep relevance out there. And so the story is too often that these people go missing, and then one day they're in the news, and the next day they move on to a new story like that person never exists. And I refuse to let that happen to my son. So I need your help to keep my son's story alive. And that way it also can keep funding going to keep me here. And so I can be on the ground and look for my son. We're going to find him. And I say we're a family. And on this thing, you guys are part of this family. When you sit there and you share and everything you do, yeah, we're family. So thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, share Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, or anywhere you can. And please give the social media for Please Help Find Daniel some love. Thank you so much, Giz Love from Grizzly True Crimes, for putting that out. I really appreciate that. And yes, I really appreciate that, your help on that endeavor, putting out the information. Also the Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. That's where you'll hear me most. I have other family members and friends doing some of the other social media. I do Twitter and the Facebooks. You guys will find some things you go to me personally doing the Twitter. So, we have the Instagram and things like that also. We have the Instagram link here, put up posts daily for you guys' awareness, what's going on, things like that. So, this all of that, you have it everywhere. So you want information, you get that. So thank you so much, Gizla, for putting all that out for me. I really appreciate that. You knew. Thank you so much for putting up the Cash App application for me. It's again, it's the Cash App would be $ capital P. You know, please help find Daniel. All the caps on the first letter of those words. So, and also, you know, again, the tip line also is right here behind me and also on the screen. And, you know, so you guys can also leave a tip. You know a thing, hear a thing, believe you know a thing, anything at all, it would be helpful to hit that tip line. I'm going down the line really fast and see if I have any remaining questions because my time is running out. Mr. Robinson, have you been able to gain access to street cameras? If so, you've been allotted to view the footage. Those were the things that my family and I asked for on day one. According to that department, nothing was seen. And like I said, you know, these guys have the capability, if you run a light, to give you a ticket in the mailbox. They use the same capability to solve crimes. Somebody robbed a bank today, they can tell which direction they went and everything else, right? But somehow my son's vehicle has a cloak device on it, obviously, because they tell me they can get nothing. Everything to me that we asked for as a family, it was conveniently that they can't get anything from it. They couldn't get cell phone pings that we asked for. They couldn't get those cameras. They couldn't even get the information off that vehicle. The vehicle come with Uconnect. They came up with these excuses where they put in their report, they reached out to Uconnect. They told me two different stories. They told me something different. They couldn't get the Uconnect because they couldn't get a warrant. Then they came back again and say, well, they called Uconnect and then all zeros or whatever on the Uconnect, and the Uconnect, the people who own Uconnect says that only happened when somebody disconnected batteries. So I now started the question, why, you know, you don't think it's strange somebody disconnect the battery? So, you know, things like that. That's what I hear, but then they put something different in their reports. You know, something similar, but different. So, you know, it's all kinds of things like that goes on with that. So, no, we did not get any camera footage. Even the weird part is they told me, oh, we got camera footage. My son was at this Waffle House. But what they showed me was pictures of the video. They didn't show me the video to this date. They gave me pictures. I have that. Pictures of the video. Why I can't see the whole video? Why I can't see what happened? You know, that type thing. So, you know, that's what goes on with this department. They're not being fair with the family and myself. I've been here on ground zero on day one, tried my best to work with them on day one, and that's the way they treat a family. They don't share information with me. They don't try to help on the searches, don't do anything. And then, you know, sometimes people think that I'm out here, you know, bashing the police. No, I'm questioning the police, and that's what everybody should do. Your loved one go missing. One advice I can give anybody: your loved one go missing, question police. That's what you're supposed to do. You're their supervisor. Somebody's working for you. They're not doing the job properly. What you're supposed to do? You question them. What are you doing? Sometimes you have to micromanage them. They work for you. You got to remember that. You don't ever forget that. They work for you, and it's okay for you to ask questions. When you see something wrong, it's okay for you to speak out about it. So that's what I do, is go ahead and do that type stuff. Anyway, I have another question. Is there any way you can find out where the red paint that was on Daniel's Jeep come from? And that's part of the forensics work. That's why I'm asking you guys, please, if you can donate, go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. You can donate on GoFundMe, or you can do just like you said, just open up a cash app for those who don't want certain fees or whatever to come off their dollar. They can go to $ please help find Daniel, but make sure you capitalize each word and please help find Daniel, the first letter. And that way, I should put that on the screen below, but you guys can donate and help towards finding out where that red transfer paint come from. I have an idea. I definitely had a part of my investigation. I have an idea where it came from, but I need to match it up. So if you guys can help me get that done, I really appreciate that. That will help tremendously. So thank you. I do not know where. I do know it didn't come from this desert. Look out there. You see anything red out there right now? No. I can tell you we've been out there for months now, and there's nothing red out there in the desert. Only thing red I heard about that desert is that gentleman at the well site who told me he was painting red rocks on the ground, painting the rocks red, so the police can know where these tracks was that my son was driving out in the desert, because he know that this story is going to be big, and it's going to the news media going to come and all this kind of stuff he was saying that day. So that type thing. So that's the thing that Buckeye know about. They didn't make any report. They didn't even question it. So you guys, I will tell you that. Anyway, next question. Forgive me, but this question needs asking, sir. The skeletal bones you found, were they Black Americans? We found a lot of bones out there, and despite what Buckeye said, like I told you before, uh, we started finding a lot of human remains out there. Rather, each bone belonged to one person, but I can tell you that I believe it's multiple. We have a discussion among me and my logistic search coordinator. We have a little discrepancy about how many we found out there, but I can tell you this: I know a human only had 2 tibia. I know we only have 2 arms. So we got like 3 or 4 of them. You can't say that's one person. It got to be 2 people at least, right? So we found these remains that's part of a bone. They turned out to be human, but Buckeye came out with a strong statement and called everything we found out there animal bones. Even after they confirmed there was human bones, but they came out there and said there was all animal bones except for skull. That's what they end up saying. Because the skull is skull, they couldn't deny that. I don't care if it's one human remain out there. That's a crime scene. The bone that we did find, trust me, there's a lot of human bones that we found. Whether they belong to one person or 2, it's been multiple people. It wasn't one person, because like I said, you can't have 4 arms, or you can't have 4 tibia or something like that. So it's multiple people. It's just that it's hard to get the exact number because of that. Now, I can tell you the one that was fresher, one of the last bones that we found out there that still had the marrow on it. I'm sorry, you guys, for being so graphic, but it's hurtful. It was hard for me that day. My investigator found one. He found the tibia, and I happened to go look at it, see what he was doing. I saw another one I found, and one other gentleman found the hip bone, and we just kept finding parts of his body. And but it's fresh because it still had the marrow, still was pinkish in color. And the first thing we did, like we always do, take pictures of it. My website is designed to send Detective Biffin of the Buckeye Police Department a copy of what we find every time. They accuse me, to throw off a little bit, accuse me of holding back evidence. That's Chief Hall. When I have my searches set up to give them everything we do out there information. So through my website. And but anyway, we sent it up to them. They immediately, after 10 minutes, came back and say they animal bones, right? Like they did with call other stuff animal bones. I got pissed off. I'll be honest with you. I got angry out there. My investigator said something about it. I was yelling about it, and they ended up going to get it done with the medical examiners for Maricopa. We waited out there about 3 hours. Came back, human bones. Then they was forced to come out there and call it a crime scene. Right? They taped it off. I did a video immediately because I know how Buckeye did. They did it before. They take credit for everything that we do out there. They don't do no work, but they try to take credit that I have done since I've been here. Try to take credit for. I see them with the newspapers taking credit, and they even did it at the Maricopa County. I had to call Maricopa County when I saw those records, and I called them, and I told them just like this: y'all falsifying records. My searches, we found those bones, those remains. We found the skull and this and that. Y'all need to change that record. Send them that letter, send them an email, and they called me back personally, apologized, and they changed the record. Now, mind you, like I said, they said those are animal bones. If we would have left and listened to those people calling that bones animal bones, somebody loved one would still be on the ground to this day. And that's what they do. So I went out there. Of course, they made a crime scene. They ended our searches. Everybody went home. I hung around because I was concerned. I was scrubbing that ground really hard out there because it looked too fresh. I was wondering if it was my son. And I'll be honest with you, it's hard, very hard mentally. And I ended up hanging around, talked to the detectives, told them, hey, I need these answers. They told me I couldn't hang around because they're doing their little investigation. I said, well, I need these answers. Y'all gonna do yes? They told me, hey, we're gonna let you know. I left Buckeye, got in my vehicle, started headed Buckeye to turn in all this equipment that we rent out. Before I even make it to Phoenix, now it's a 40-minute drive. Before I make it to Phoenix, they call me and say, it's not your son. I don't know how they know that. They told me it's not a black male. I don't know how they know that, just by sitting on the ground somehow, And I was like, thinking, to be honest with you, I'm saying, well, how they can tell me they know it's not a black male just by looking at a bone? I thought we all human. We all human, and we should be the same, right? So, I'm not a forensic person. I don't know, but that's what they told me. I went out to put it in the media, what we found, because I told the guys we made a film about it, and I put it out on the media real fast, so Buckeye won't take credit. And so, of course, the media hit me up about it. And the first thing they said, the father said that it's not his son. No, I got that from Buckeye. Less than 40 minutes of them coming out there, that it wasn't my son. But yet they told the reporters who came out to them, they don't know who it belongs to, and because they need to do some forensic work. So I don't know who it belongs to. That's what they told me personally. All I can tell you, they have yet to ask me for any DNA, anybody from my family, just in case. I just know that's proper protocol, because the skull that was found out there, know who found that? Family members? I did. I ran to the lady in Florida, her family. She called me, inquiring about that skull. I gave her all the information that needed to be done, and they came out and eventually claimed it. So, that type of stuff. But she had her DNA on file, things like that. So, they haven't yet to even ask that, because they don't see any criminality in what you see in this vehicle behind us. They don't see no criminal activities, no nothing. So, of course, they're not looking in that direction to even try to find out if something happened to my son. They just look for him to somehow come back. That's their theory, but then hide in a report to make it appear like they thinking something happened, but not thinking something happened. They're trying to play both sides of the fence, and that's not fair. All right, I don't think I have any more questions. Thank you for your comments. I'm reading some of them as I go. And I thank you, Larnell, again for giving me information. There's a mayor and city manager. That's what I'm thinking, the city manager, because that's one of the people I CC in my letters to Chief Hall each time. It's the city manager. And that's what make him do some moves. I'm sure they're saying things to him. Chief Hall, okay, and they are fully responsible for his actions or lack thereof. Write the mayor and the city council and tell them about Chief Hall. And I agree. And that's exactly and I know that because that's exactly who I CC, like I said, in those letters. And it tends to somehow get them to move. So, yes, I know wherever that purse is, wherever their funding come from, that's who's really in charge. So, anyway, thank you guys for your comments. D-Love, thank you so much for your comments. No family should have to do Ellie's job, then turn around and pay them. Yes. Yeah, they shouldn't get paid if they're not working. The way I look for it, if I can help it, each department, I don't care what department they're from, what city, what state, when it comes to missing people or anything, any kind of crime, I don't think a police department should be sitting like like an office building where you filing papers all day, booking somebody, and you're just so relaxed. I think they should be running around like Chick-fil-A, saying, doing cases and running out the door to go find people, loved ones, and solving cases. They should be out there working hard. They should, at the end of the day, earn their paycheck. They're getting taxpayer dollars. They should be out there tired. They should be dead tired at the end of the day when they go home. So, like they did a manufacturer's job or something. So that's the kind of things I would like to see from LE. And if I can help it, that's some of the things I would change if I get a chance. And I'm going to be working on that. Question. It's odd that the driver's seat was still fastened. Police officer drive sitting on seatbelts. Do you think the cops may have planted the car? Now, I can tell you that those two things were said in the reports. Yeah, it was one of what I hear. Somehow escaped me at the time that they first said seatbelt was fastened. Then they said it wasn't fastened, but it's dangling, I guess, or whatever the case may be. So it's two different things. Sometimes you see all the contradictory stuff going on in the reports and things like that. Now, I'm not a person to accuse the police department of anything, because I'm not saying they have any involvement in my son's disappearance. But I'm tell you like this, as a father, I don't trust nobody. And I can tell you that off the rip. I don't trust nobody, and I don't rule nobody out. I don't care who they are. I don't rule anybody out. So, the thing is, I'm not aware of say or accuse anybody of anything, But I can tell you, I personally, as a father, don't rule anything out. When I say anything, I don't rule anything out. I'm just going to leave it just like that. So, no, I can't answer that question. Do I think the cops have planted the car and things like that? I really can't say that, because, that's not the way I'm thinking. But, like I said, I don't rule anything out either. So I can't say that part. But thank you so much for your question. All right. Right. Let's see. Here's another question from Ann Brown. They're sure that he showed up for work on the day he went missing. Also, I would have them fingerprint his friends and coworkers and see if their prints were on the vehicle or his apartment. Yeah, I would too. You know what? I've been doing this for this long, and I would like every time I look at my son's vehicle, I keep that up there for a reason. I keep that up on, first of all, so you guys also can see when I do my interviews, and I sit in the same spot all the time. But I keep it up even after that because I look at it all the time. I look at these pictures and I think about the things I would have done um, had I had the resources. Had it, when I say had the resources, the money like that, the resources that this departments can have. First thing I would have did is, well, at least did the obvious. I would have canvassed everything. I would have collect all the evidence I can, take all the pictures I can, and make documents of everything exactly where it was. The second thing I would have done is immediately got the fingerprints done on it, scrub it for DNA, to whatever, especially the clothing. I would have did all of that. Do that on day one because you know what? I would have ruled out that it was foul play first. I wouldn't say look at that and say, "Oh, I don't see no blood in the vehicle." That's what they told me in that meeting. And that's why they didn't do no forensic work. I ain't see no blood in the vehicle. See no blood. And I said, then I asked them a question like, "Well, how you know nobody wipe it up? Do you know no blood was in there?" But they ain't see no blood in the vehicle. How you know? As far as I understand, they got some type of chemical or light or something to tell somebody wiped up blood. You know. So how you know? That type deal. That's the poor police work. Because I would have a lay person don't know nothing about police work. You lose common sense. We watch enough TV to know that forensic work need to be done on the scene. Now, fingerprinting with the workers, I do know I requested that fingerprinting. They did it, but you don't see nothing like that on the report. I mean, I'm sure they're not gonna put that in the report. Hey, look, yeah, we're gonna fingerprint these people. I doubt they even do it. They so much haven't even really questioned anybody. They just took these statements from the people. The people say X, Y, Z happened. They even have a young lady who uploaded her own text messages. Now think about this. Now they didn't take her phone. She uploaded her own text messages up to their report, and they put it in there. What's something wrong with that? That's hearsay. First of all, it's hearsay message, and they actually put it in their report. Hearsay, her side of the story. My son's phone been wiped. Any messages between those two, it don't even match the phone record. The text message don't even match. But they put in their report as it matched and everything else, and her story stands strong to them. So that type deal. So that's poor police work, and I'm looking into that as part of my investigation too. Like I said before, I don't rule nothing out, nobody or anything. I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I don't rule anything out. So thank you so much for your prayers, D-Love. Mr. Robinson, praying for you and your family. Um, thank you very much. TMH, help. I really want to know the acronym for that and leave you with discernment and protection, guide you to bring Daniel home safe. Thanks so much. I need all of the prayers, and I need the protections, and I need the discernment that I can get. And thank you so much. Thank you also, Anna, for your prayers and everything, praying faithfully for Daniel. Thank you so much. Let's find Daniel. Gloria, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And let's see here. Thank you, New, again, for putting up the ways to donate. I really appreciate that. Putting up the Cash App, and also you guys can go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and you can donate through the GoFundMe if you like. I am running out of time. I'm strolling down this timeline fast as I can to get to the end, and once I get to the bottom, I will conclude this Q&A. I'm trying to make sure I get everybody's question before I do so. Okay, now, I don't know if it's a question, but I'm putting it up from Ann Brown. So We don't know if he was with anyone at the coffee house. They have to release the video. I would call the restaurant and ask for the video from them. Now I can tell you, and excuse me, I can tell you it's been 8 months, and most cameras only hold things for 30 days, unless that company or business or whatever decided to record these things and hold it for records for whatever reason. A lot of that stuff get overwritten. Now, Buckeye told me they have footage of the Waffle House, but like I said, some reason they didn't want to show me that footage. I don't know why. I'm still puzzled by that. They gave me pictures of the video. In other words, like they roll a video and they take a camera and take a picture of whatever they want. Oh, he's this movement he's doing. He's walking out the door. Oh, he was sitting at this place. Oh, that type deal. I want to see movement. I want to see the whole videotape. You know what I'm saying? They got it. They got it. They told me they have it. So I want to see that. I want to see the footage of him at this so-called gas station that morning. They went out there. They claimed they did. Where's the footage? You say you saw it. Where is it? That type of deal. So, those are the kind of things I'm going to get on the Freedom of Information Act. That's going to be part of my investigation. So I need to know all those answers too. Thank you guys for the questions. Hit that like button, share. Thank you so much for commenting. Keeping the algorithm going to help me out on this channel. I'm just starting this channel. Again, for people who just joined in, my name is Dave Robinson. I'm father of Geologist Daniel Robinson. I decided to do this Q&A for people who supporting the cause, who have a high interest in my son's case. You guys have been so loving and supportive. You need to know answers, and I try to give answers the best of my ability. I decided to take the time in my morning to give you guys, information, what's going on. Thank you. I agree that too. They're lying. I believe that too. My opinion. That's my opinion. But you guys are donating. You're helping, things like that. So I really plead that. Thank you for donating, 12-Step Woman. I really appreciate that. God bless you for that. You're one of the people. Like I said, without you, I won't be able to put this banner. I wouldn't be able to put the searches together. I wouldn't be able to get the equipment that we need. We go out to searches. I wouldn't be able to be here in Arizona this long. I wouldn't be able to get the billboards put up, the flyers, this you name it. Everything is all a part of everything you guys are doing to keep this thing going, and I'm relying on that. Buckeye have plenty of funding. There are resources they can reach out to. They're obviously in my way, and I told you before, when people get in my way, they just need to move out the way. They need to move out the way, and I requested them to bring the FBI into this case. They're refusing to do so. Give me some lame excuse saying that the FBI told them I was doing such a great job as a father that they don't need to come. Like, why the FBI would say something like that? I'm just a person, a father who don't have resources, and I'm doing better than the FBI. Come on now, that sounds sick. So, but that's the kind of question, the kind of thing they do. Tell me things, and I think, in my opinion, hindsight, looking at some stuff was said to me, I think they think it's funny or something. Suggesting my son will join a monastery, become a monk, things like that. Just say anything. Oh, we was searching for your son, and helicopters flying so low, you can hold your hand up in the air and touch the bottom of the man hanging out the helicopter, like some action hero type deal. You know what I'm saying? When I'm in pain, and I'm not thinking logically, in pain. And you say things like that to me. In hindsight, I have to think about those things later and ask the question, what do you mean by that? So that's the kind of things goes on. So thank you guys for donating and supporting. I'm almost down to the end of this chat. And let me see. You have another question. Daniel Robinson did an interview speaking out against police brutality. We need to get a copy of that recording. I have pictures, Daniel sent to me. I was proud of him that day. He was fighting against police brutality. And, that's what Daniel do. He's stand up for what he believes in. I believe in that too. Police brutality is wrong. He stand up for what he believes in. And he did an interview with the local news channel here. And that's Daniel. He's going to stand up for what he believes in and what's right. So I can imagine that he does it when he approaches job, the same thing. he's going to approach the job, doing his job correctly. He's a responsible young man, and that's what he does. So, yes, I'm proud of him. Thank you again for hitting that like button. Thank you for your donation. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Larnell, for your comment, right? And call the Buckeye Police Department. That's what I'm saying. Thank you, guys. Continue to do that. If I had that number again, you can find it on the website. I believe I have there. You guys can always call the Buckeye Police Department on Yuma Road. They have 2 locations. Call the one on Yuma Road. If you was to Google it, Buckeye, see the Buckeye Police Department. Call the one on Yuma Road, and leave those things like Mr. Larnell said. Your complaints, your comments, your suggestions, whatever the case may be. You're supporting for for this case, and you don't want them to do their job or whatever the case you want to say. What they've done to Mr. Robinson isn't isolated, and they'll do it again unless we stop. They'll stop. And you're right. If, like I said, I believe that they felt that this man comes from Columbia, South Carolina, was somehow going to come here. They're going to tell me this lame story about my son's vehicle. I was going to accept the report that they gave me, the full report. They said it was done. I was going to accept that my son's house is gone. Nothing I can do about it. They tried, and I was just going to walk off with my head down and call them every day crying on the phone, asking them, did they find anything yet? Come on now. That's not my style. That's not, I love my son. I love my son. I love my children. So that's not even going to happen. I mean, maybe that's the way they approach their children, but not me. They just ran into the wrong guy. They tried this with the wrong person, and I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep pushing. As long as you guys help me, I'm here. I thank you. And also, regardless, I'm just a father who's going to do what I have to do and can to be here for my son. All right. Now, I'm almost down to the end. I'm getting there. So thank you guys for actually coming on and supporting my Q&A. Let's see. Absolutely. They need to do their job. Yes, they need to do their job. They need to be honest with you. They need to check all the wells on the property. I don't trust anyone either. Yes. Thank you, Anna. And yes, just can't just take the word for it. Don't take the word for anything. Your loved one, their lives at that stake. You don't put their loved one their life in somebody's hand that you don't know. I don't know these police officers. I know they're supposed to be the justice of the peace. They're supposed to serve and protect, but I still don't know them. I'd rather work with them so I can watch it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't trust anybody. So the thing is, I'm not going to put my total trust in somebody who go to work every day a 9-to-5 job. I don't know how passionate they are about their job. They just go to collect the paycheck. I do not know. So I cannot just guess on it because they got a badge and a name and a number or something that they're going to do their job. No, you got to be there to make sure they're doing the job. You're the supervisor. They work for you, and you got to make sure they're doing their job. You never have a company that you never go check on your employees, ever. You never go or on any kind of corporation or business where you say, hey, y'all just have at it. I'm not going to ask any questions. No, they don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't do that because your loved one life is at stake. Their justice is at stake and their integrity. Nobody's going to beat my son up. He's a brilliant man, young man, brilliant, very intelligent, smart. He's a scientist, and I'm going to make sure he's honored the correct way. All right, please hit that like button. I'm almost down. I'm getting down closer to the end. I'm looking for more questions. If I miss your questions, please forgive me. I'll try my best. Arizona prisons are privatized and inmates utilized for labor. Have you investigated possibility Daniel is in prison under fictitious name? No, I have not. I can't see how that can even happen for him to end up in a prison somehow other than that would suggest that the police department know who he is and they put him there, So I can't say that. I don't know. I don't have any evidence of anything like that. So, I can't speak on that one. So I thank you for your question, but I can't speak on that one. Let's see if I have anything else. Have you been able to maintain a chain of custody for the evidence they return to you? Certainly, okay, for sleuters outside the court system, since knowing and convicting differs. Yes, I sure do. One of the things is, and I can tell you this, I have seen that vehicle on twice. I saw it the day that the next day when it's found like this, was shown by Detective Biffin to me when he suggested that my son may have joined the monastery to become a monk. That day is when he showed me that vehicle. And it was the same day he threatened for me to get it out of there. That same day, first time seeing it the way it is, I was stunned. And he suggested that I need to get out there and going to have towed, and they're going to have charge me towing fees. So that's the first time I saw the vehicle. The second time was with my private investigator, my former private investigator at the location. He had to do some stuff to it. And like I said, it's done proper protocol that he does to handle that vehicle. And I haven't seen that vehicle since. And I haven't seen it since because he's my investigator. That investigator no longer worked for me. And to keep, like you said, the integrity and things like that, I have not personally seen that vehicle outside of the investigator. So I purposely do that for reasons. So no, we have things properly done with that vehicle. So when my new investigator get down to doing that, with his forensic work getting done, we have some type of change, like you said, those chain of custody things taken care of. So we can have a leg to stand on. So everything's done in the proper way. Thank you. Okay. Let me see if I have any more questions. I have a comment. Let's see. Okay. Well, thank you all for coming out and supporting my Q&A. Again, my name is David Robinson. I'm the father of Geologist Daniel Robinson, and I think I come to the end of the questions. So thank you so much thank you, Gisela, for pointing out the signatures. There are 106,277 signatures out of 150. We can get this 150,000. We're getting close. You guys, like I said, you can sign a petition on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. You can see the link right there she put up. Also, you just go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com and click on sign the petition. And please sign. If you have multiple email addresses, that helps out. So please do that. And thank you, because we're trying to get these numbers up. By the time I get this forensics work done, I would like to be at 200,000. So, that's even a stronger presence. And I thank you guys for doing that for me. You also can donate to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. I really need you guys to do so. I had a hard time at first asking people to donate, but I know I really needed my son's life, and also his integrity is at stake. They have not done forensic work at that scene. That's why you don't see the markers on the picture that they gave me, is because they did not do any forensic work. They told me out their own mouth. I had a witness, one was here, that they told me personally they didn't do it on the scene because they didn't see the blood of the vehicle. I demanded for at least fingerprinting, which they did a few days after that meeting. And I since have gotten any information about what they found or what they didn't find. So I have to do all of that stuff myself. That's just the fingerprint on the vehicle. Mind you, they gave me everything else to me. There was nothing done on his clothing. No friends wearing clothing, his cell phone, his computers, nothing. So those things had to be done. They're going to be very costly. And I need you guys to help if you can. So let's see if there's any more questions. I think that's it. So thank you all for coming out. I did it a whole lot longer than I thought. Thank you guys for coming out and joining in on the Q&A. Again, my name is David Robinson, the father of Geologist Daniel Robinson, doing this Q&A to give everybody information about what I'm doing, upcoming events like doing the candlelight visual that's coming up, and also the forensic work that I'm doing for the vehicle, my changes in the way I'm designing the searches now, and just things like that. So just giving you a little information what's going on with the new billboards that's up now around Phoenix for awareness, things like that. The outreach, the whole city distribution. It is a lot. It's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. Also, lastly, the Daniel Robinson Foundation that I'm working on also. So you guys look out for all of that that's happening. Those are big things. And again, I thank you so much for coming on. I'm out. Love you all. I really love you. And I say that, I really mean it. Thank you so much. God bless.